Hey there, welcome back to my channel, Mess with Michelle. Thanks so much for clicking on this video and taking the time to hang out with me because I'm heading downstairs and I'm going to be focusing on organizing my downstairs cold room storage area. This is my messy little secret that I haven't organized in quite some time and have kept putting it off time after time. But after going in here recently looking for my fall decorations, I was bumping into things, tripping over things, and I just could not walk. So I knew this was well overdue. So I'm giving it a well-needed organization declutter to make sure that this space is functional, and this way I have a good organization system. So next time I go in this space, I'll be able to find my items very easily. So if you like cleaning motivation, how-to videos, and DIYs, definitely consider hitting that subscribe button because I'd love to share my messy journey with you. So I'm going to jump right in. I'm going to start clearing out everything from this space so I can see exactly what I have going on here. So this way I can start sorting it and organizing it. As I mentioned earlier, this is my cold room storage, and if you're not familiar with cold room storage areas, they're always located in your basement underneath your porch area, and they always keep a nice cool temperature all year round, even in the summertime, because this space is below ground level and it's great for people who want to have this area for preserves or just storing food that needs a dark, cool space. So when you do have a cold room storage, you always have a door to close it off from the rest of the basement. Now, I don't actually use this space for preserving. It's just a bonus space that I use for storing all of my items, such as my holiday decor and just random things that I can't store on the main level of the house. Now, you've noticed here that it's concrete floors, and with concrete, they do have moisture in them. So one of the things I really wanted to do is get all of my items and decor out of these paper boxes because I didn't want to have any problems that if there's any sort of moisture damage or any water backup from the drain that's in this space. So that's why I chose a plastic storage system, which you'll see a little bit later, to store all my stuff. So this way I have peace of mind if anything does go wrong, all my items will be protected. So here's the empty space, nice and cleared out. You can tell it's very echoey in here, but right above us is our porch. So I'm going to start organizing my bins and hopefully get this spot in order. All right, so here's a shot of everything that I took out, and yes, that is a Hull can, but that's actually a beer can holder, something that Bobby had bought, a little impulse buy. This is where I put everything. Not the greatest idea to put everything on my footpath because now I have nowhere to walk. So I have to move everything around and make sure I have a good space to do my organization. So I might set up my bins in another area so this way I can have a little bit more room to move around. I bought these storage bins from Canadian Tire, and they range from $13 to $16, and they're 70 liters to 102 liters, and I bought this small container from Dollarama for only $2. The system that I'm showing you for storage doesn't necessarily have to be only for your storage area in your basement. This also can work in your closets. When I went to the store looking for my bins, there were so many varieties of different shapes and sizes as well as price ranges for the bins. So when you are considering storage, there is a lot of possibilities out there that you can find bins specifically for your space that will fit nicely in the area that you're organizing. These small clear bins were from the dollar store, and they worked great when it came to organizing my small ornaments that are keepsakes to make sure that they're kept safe and they don't get broken. When I was at the dollar store, I actually stumbled across these bins when I was looking for my labels, and it's a great alternative if you want to stay on budget, is look to see what the dollar store has to offer. They may not have the largest bins available, but if you're working on small organization projects, you can find some really great containers to store your stuff in. As you can tell, I use a lot of boxes for my storage, and there's nothing wrong with that. I use this system quite often in other areas of my home. I just save boxes, and if I need to use them for storage, then I definitely go ahead and use them for that purpose. But if you have the ability to save boxes and you wanted to use them for storage, I say why not? As long as it's functional, you know where things are, it's always a bonus when you don't have to spend money on storage containers. So at this point, I was losing a bit of steam. There was just so many things I had to organize and go through, but I kept plugging along and just making sure that the job was done. And I just wanted to basically at one point throw everything inside of a bin, not sort it, so this way it could speed up the process. But I knew later on that if I did this, it was just going to be a complete disaster, and it was going to be so unorganized when I'm trying to organize things. So as much as you want to just give up and throw things in a box, keep going. I'm definitely not someone who enjoys organizing. So if I can do it, you can do it. You just have to take your time and just do it your method. My method is do it cost effective, do it hopefully as fast as possible, but do it right and make sure it's categorized so you can find things later on down the road. So you're going to see here that I have so many gift bags that I've accumulated over the years. I have bags, inside bags, and it just kept going and going and going. I just could not believe how many I collected. I don't even know if I'm going to actually use these, but I thought they'd be handy to have. So this way, to keep it budget friendly later on, I won't have to buy gift bags. That's definitely for sure, especially for Christmas. So what I'm doing now is I'm just taking everything out. I'm sorting it by small, medium, and large bags. And then I'm going to put them inside of a bin, and they're going to be nicely organized into size. So I'm looking for something for a particular gift. I know exactly where to head to and find the perfect size for that gift.
So come on, why won't you reappear? Things that I said came out totally wrong. Can't speak of the truth when it's tainted. I fell into a big black hole. It got me stone cold. You got me stone cold. You got me stone cold.
So I'm making pretty good progress right now, and I have to tell you, for someone who doesn't like organizing, that was a struggle because I did not realize how much stuff I had for Christmas. Like, it was never ending Christmas. So I've categorized everything, trying to keep a bit of a theme, so this way I can know what's inside each box. So this is just cards, gift bags, like endless amount of gift bags. I consider these like non-breakable ornaments for my Christmas tree. These are more of like soft ornaments, like the Santa Claus, my tree skirt. And I'm not sure what I'm going to do with my wreaths at the moment because I don't have a bin for them, so I'm just going to keep them up top there. See if I can figure something out. But underneath, this is like all my boxes in a box. Like, just so this is my cookie jar, just some vases that I have. So I'm just trying to get them off the floor in something that's plastic. So far, I've made a bit of a dent, but here's all my ornaments in a row, and I'm feeling a lot better knowing that they're all tucked away really nicely. So finally, after hours of organizing, I got through Christmas, and now I'm moving on to the Halloween decorations. And this one was actually the hardest one to go through because I used to have a Halloween party every single year, so I had a lot of Halloween decorations that I've kept over the years. But after re-looking at them, I really had to think, do I want to keep this, and will I use it in this house this year or next year? So I actually ended up giving away a lot of my Halloween decorations. I'll be donating them, and hopefully someone can find a little treasure that they'll want to use this Halloween. So this is just a quick sorting of Bobby's beer supplies. He used to make beer a few years ago, so I'm just tucking everything away. So if he picks up the hobby again, he'll have all of his equipment inside one bin, easy to find. Here's the mountain of boxes that I'm going to be tossing away after putting everything in my storage bins. It really does help having storage bins because you can use up so much less space in all these boxes put together. So I'm using a different method when it comes to labels. I was trying to find some fancy labels to put on the bins, but just because I want to keep this cost effective, I went to the Dollarama and I picked up these small dry erase magnets with a dry erase marker. And I'm going to be using this magnetic tape that you see here. I'm going to be using this to put on the front of the bin so the magnetic dry erase board sticks. The reason why I chose this method is because if I change my bins later on down the road or I add something, it can easily take off the information and just write a new label for that particular bin. So let's see if this actually works. This labeling system couldn't be any easier. All I have to do is take my magnetic adhesive strips, cut them to the length of the magnet, and then apply to the front of the bin, and then to put the dry erase magnetic board on the front and put the label of what's inside. When it came to labeling systems, I wanted to make sure that I had something that was effective, but also something I can use over and over and not have to buy new labels each time. If I were to switch things around the bins, I can just simply erase the marker and then just put the new information in the front and be able to use these over and over again. So with all that DIY project, it's time to kick back and just relax in my big ass chair. This is actually something that Bobby bought a few years ago. It's more of a novelty item. So here are my labeling systems. Everything's looking great and everything's labeled, and now I'm ready to put on the lids. So you might see me taking off the front labels every time I put the lid on, but every time I snapped the lid into place, they fell off. But it's not a big deal because there was so much pressure being put on that they popped off. But when I moved them into the storage area, I had no problems with everything staying in place. We're inside the cold room, and Bobby brought this baker's rack downstairs into the cold room. So this way we have extra shelves just for anything like preserves or just some leftover things that didn't fit into our storage bins. So I'm going to put on this wall and see if it works, and put all the storage at the back of this wall right here. So finally the time has come. I can actually start moving all my bins into my storage area and get those in place. And these bins are great because they lock into one another, so you can stack them pretty high without having the worry of them falling over. The baker's rack came in really handy for my wreaths. Until I get a storage bin for these, I'm just going to place them here. And also it came in handy for putting my extra gift wrap on the bottom shelf. And I do have a few preserves. I have some pickles that I made this year, and I also have some mustard pickles as well. So it's a perfect area to store these items. It's a nice cold, dark storage area down here. One final touch, I'm adding a magnetic adhesive strip with my dry erase marker, so if I have to make labels on the fly, I have my pen available. So here's a shot of the storage area beforehand, and you can see how truly dysfunctional and unorganized this space was before I started sorting. And here's the after of how everything turned out nicely organized. I really hope you enjoyed today's video and it gave you the organizational motivation that you need to go and organize around your home. So if you love these types of videos, make sure you consider hitting that like button and also subscribing. And if you know someone who just needs that little bit of a nudge to do any organizing around their house, make sure you share this video with them to give them that motivation. So I'll see you next week when I upload my next video next Sunday. So I'll see you then.